Hi, my name's Paul, and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck, or should I say ramble in this mid-40s Galion Grader. Now, we'll talk about some juicy details at the end, but for right now, let's get it started. Well, there you have it. This is a MG Galion Grader. But what makes this grader so special is that they've basically taken a W4, so a McCormick Deering W4 tractor, and they've split it at the transmission to the engine. They've flipped the engine, spun the engine around and set it on top, and then they've connected the two with belts. There's 4 big belts. Let's see if you can see in there. 4 big belts inside there, great big pulleys. And then I guess basically made the grader that way, instead of having to incorporate the engine underneath the cab or make it longer than it needed to be. This way was kind of a clever way where they could utilize a production tractor as their power plant, but still keep like a shorter profile. Now, what makes it even more interesting is that this is it's kind of hard to see there, but it's an IU4, so it's the industrial version. And I think that McCormick Deering W4 engine is the same as the I believe in Farmall H. I think an H is the same. Anyways, next we have the provincial highways. Look at that. So I'm not sure when it would have come out of service for the province, but I'd imagine it's seen its share of gravel roads. Another thing that makes it super pleasant to drive is that it's all hydraulic. There's no knuckle busters, not like the old Cats. Like I think a 212 had those awful mechanical drive, and just I've driven it. It should be called a knuckle buster. But yeah, it's super simple. I mean, it really only has the 2 controls, plus somebody that added a hydraulic steering to the end, so, or to the front end, so it's really just, that's how you steer it. So it's super simple, super convenient to drive. I mean, it's not for heavy grading. When you need to change the angle of the blade, you just pop this lever, and this just releases a pin from these cogs, and you just put a little bit of pressure on one side or the other of the blade when it spins it around. And then, like I said, at the front, it's got just a hydraulic cylinder to do the steering. And overall, it's one of my favorites. I got it a long time ago. That's another story. You want to hear me ramble on, boy? The story to buy this is in my it's in like my top three acquisitions. Anyways, it's a great grader. I've spent hundreds of hours grading driveways with it, building little roads with it. And it did have a burned out valve, but it was an easy fix. I managed to buy a new valve and was able to get it fixed. Took the head off, took the valve out, the valve guides, and everything else was fine. It just had like a little teeny kind of pie shape wore out of it. Even the seat was fine. I mean, it's all original from, I think, factory as far as the engine. From some of the reading that I've done, I think it came with the 5,000 and higher elevation pistons, so they came with a higher compression ratio for the higher elevation. Anyways, this is the Galion serial number, so it's an MG, and then 2003. So I wonder if they really only ever made 200. If this was the 203rd. Anyways, I've only ever seen like a couple on the internet with this same cab design by Galion, and so it's rare as hen's teeth as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, more to come.